Hello, Lion listeners, and welcome to another episode of the Roar Report podcast. Here you can keep up to date on the latest and greatest going around the Dryden Central School District. Today, we have two special guests with us, music educators Elizabeth DeGroff and Adam Phillips-Burdge. In this episode, we will explore what it is like to teach music as education as we are celebrating music in our schools this month. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Bachlupi.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Question number one. Can you introduce yourself, how long you worked in the Dryden Central School District, and what music-related content do you teach?
First, thank you for having us, Mr. B. We're very
absolutely
here. My name is Lizzie Alexander, or DeGroff, as you introduced me.
Right.
Most of our students at Dryden know me as DeGroff, so that was perfect. This is my 7th year of teaching and my 6th year at Dryden Central School District. And
I went fast.
I know.
Right?
Oh my gosh, so fast. I had to count when I saw the script. I was like, how many years have I been here? Yeah, crazy. So it's my 7th year, 6th year here, and I teach high school band, middle school genre music, currently all my 7th graders, and high school music theory.
Awesome. So thanks again for having us.
Yeah.
I go by Mr. P in the elementary school. I've been working at DES for 19 years.
Amazing.
And I've been in music education for about 26 years now. And I teach the 4th grade band and the 5th grade band, which we affectionately call the Cub Band and the Lion Band.
Awesome. And how did you two realize you wanted to pursue a career in music?
Loaded question for me. So both of my parents are retired music educators in the CMY area.
Pressure.
So a little bit. And I'm also a triplet. So we kind of grew into a musical family. We're surrounded by music growing up all our lives, going to rehearsals and field band competitions and solo festivals. So there was a little bit of an influence growing up because of that, as well as the rich culture, music and arts culture in CMY. But I also kind of was thrown into it, and luckily enough, I really enjoyed playing my French horn and thought, what is this teaching thing like? So I went off to Ithaca College back in 2013, and my junior year of college, I was student teaching over at Newfield Elementary School with Anne-Marie Thayer, who is now one of our colleagues that we love, and I fell in love with music education there. So a little bit of influence from my past, but also I, because of Ithaca College and all of the people I've worked with since then, helped me find my love to teach music.
Awesome.
Yeah. In some ways, we share a little bit of that history. Both of my parents are retired music teachers.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in a musical household. My father was my high school band director. And for me, I can remember specifically the moment that I decided I want to be a band director. And that was my freshman year. And one of the percussionists was having some challenges with figuring out this rhythm. And I couldn't know how to do that. So I worked with him for about 10 minutes and we got through it. And by the end, a light bulb went off. He's like, oh, I get it. Yeah. And in that moment, I was like, that's really cool. I could share something with somebody else and see them make progress and have them get excited about it. And, and also having my father as my role model as the band director. And after that, I remember telling Dad, I want to be a band director. I want to do this. And so we, the rest is history. I went to Ithaca College and I came back to this area because I love this area. And I've been here for over 20 years teaching music.
That's awesome. And so then we fast forward to this year. And so what does your year look like in the classroom so far this year? Any highlights or lowlights or things that have really stood out this year compared to other years?
Oh man, it's been a full year. We're finally back after the COVID years.
Yeah.
We're in person. The numbers are back up. I have a real thriving program at the elementary school.
Awesome.
One of the biggest Cub bands I've ever had.
Yeah.
So busy making music and we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think to attest to what Adam, we were just talking about our programs and how much they've grown over the last couple of years. And I was so excited to hear how big the Cub band was and how many students are involved just at the elementary level, which is fabulous. So hoping to keep those numbers up through the years. Yeah. But, one of the highlights I think just recently was our combined concert was the last Wednesday already.
Yeah, that's a week ago.
Wednesday, yeah. And that's the celebration of music where all of the band ensembles come together and perform a couple of pieces themselves as well as a combined piece. And Adam conducted the students, and it was just so great to see all of them come together. So that was definitely a highlight, I'm sure, for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the high school program goes, it's been a crazy year too. I mean, our numbers are great. They love the kids. The small ensembles are doing such a great job. Clarinet choir. We just had jazz band rehearsal. We started a woodwind quintet this year, which has been a lot of fun, and a percussion ensemble. So we've been kind of diving into some different repertoire in that. We had one student go off to Area All-State. We have 15 students going to the NISMA Festival this spring,
Nice.
excuse me. And we just the musical, just so between both of our programs, it's been such a great year. And like Adam said, I think we're really starting to see a new step forward in an even stronger direction than something been in.
No, it's been awesome to watch.
No lows, except that we're really busy.
Lows, yeah.
No lows, just really busy.
I don't think it ever stops.
And speaking of being busy, obviously you're busy in the classroom and outside of the classroom with your, with your commitments and involvement in the district. But do you work on any hobbies related to music outside of your job here at Dryden?
I hate to admit it, but not as much as probably Adam does, because Adam probably gigs a little bit more than I do. I teach probably 6 students between the Ithaca and Lansing area. I teach private horn lessons, but I used to play in the Ithaca concert band, which is an adult ensemble that gets together once a week. But it was a little bit too much just with the time commitments between all the band stuff and then coaching here. So, but I try to get, touch my horn once in a while. My husband also is a high school band teacher, so we get to play together once in a while. But yeah, I probably listen to music more than I participate myself playing.
Right.
I'm either playing with the students more here than not, but.
Yeah, there's an old adage that asking a music teacher to go home and practice or play music is like asking the mail carrier to go home and take a walk.
Right.
It's a bit much, and so but for me, I feel really fortunate that my schedule allows to do quite a bit of performing. I perform in some brass ensembles a couple times a year in Pennsylvania. I do an orchestra in the summer, and then throughout the year, my main gig is with the Fall Creek Brass Band, and we rehearse every week for 2 hours a week, and then we currently for this season we have over 20 gigs planned.
Wow.
So it's a big commitment, but for me it really enhances my teaching.
Sure.
I talk to other musicians. I hear new music. I bring that into my program, and it's changed my program. I've been in Fall Creek Brass Band for 8 years now, and I teach differently since playing in that ensemble. So it's really been an added benefit.
Yeah. And that was my next question. We've seen your videos of you playing the Fall Creek Brass Band and the energy and the fun that you bring to it. And then, so how do you bring that sense of excitement when you're teaching students at Dryden Elementary School?
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's elementary, middle, or high school. You have to bring the energy. I believe as an educator, you also have to be a performer. And I mean that not in a fake way, like, I'm just performing. I'm not really being genuine.
Right.
I'm being genuine, but you really have to bring the enthusiasm.
Right.
And years ago, I learned like the word enthusiasm come from entheos, to be filled with the Spirit.
Yeah.
And so there are days when we all don't want to be on the podium conducting and working with students, or there's times when I go out to a gig and I get on stage and I'm just not in the mood yet. But as soon as that music starts, you're on stage and you're performing. Right. And I think that if you bring that sense of enthusiasm to the podium or to the stage, the audience, the students will start to reflect that enthusiasm. If they're sitting there, they're tired, but you're up and exciting and you're energetic, they start to feed on that, and they start reflecting what you bring to the podium. So it's really essential.
No, that's great insight. I guess both of you being children of music teachers, obviously music was part of your upbringing. So how old were you when you played your first instrument, if you remember, and which one was it, and how did it make you feel trying something new for the first time?
Gosh, I don't know about Adam. Growing up in a musical family with music teacher parents, they threw my sisters and I right into piano lessons. I personally hated it. I did not like it. But then stuck with it for a while. And then my mom the kids have asked me this before, my mom brought me a French horn at home. I wanted to play the clarinet. My sister already picked the clarinet.
You got a French horn?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what the kids go through with Adam at the beginning when they decide what instrument they want to play. You know, get to see all of them in action. Adam plays them through. I saw the same thing with my elementary school band teacher. And you pick your top 3. And I really wanted to play the clarinet. And I play, I think, the trombone and the saxophone. Granted, I'm only 4, you can't see me, but I'm only like 4'9", so some of the instruments are probably a little bit too big for me. But because none of my choices worked, my mom decided to bring home a French horn, and my mom said, this is what I'm going to play. And luckily enough, I fell in love with it. So did not like it at first. It was old and stinky. Honestly, if you stick with something, you might find that you really enjoy it. So, yeah. What about you, Adam?
My first instrument was my voice. You know, there was a lot of singing. I went to, you know, these different music classes as a child. I remember the Yamaha Music Academy I went to. And then I did the dreaded piano lessons. My mom was a pianist, so she gave me piano lessons that did not last long. And that's one regret. I wish I had maintained piano lessons. I wish I could play better these days than I do. But for me, 5th grade, trombone. Jim Tyson was my neighbor. He was in high school, and I really looked up to him, and he played trombone. And I'm like, I want to be like Jim Tyson. So if you're listening, Jim, it's because of you that I picked the trombone, and it ended up being a good choice for me, and I've been playing it ever since.
So there you go. And you played on the first day of school every.
That's right. Yeah, we break out the perky trombone once they get off the buses.
And Lizzie, you created the intro music for this podcast. What was that process like for you and getting your students involved?
So it was extremely easy, actually. Really exciting. I remember when Allison came to us with the project and spoke about the podcast as a whole, and then what you guys wanted to do with it, and said we need some, intro theme song music. I was like, oh, that's so exciting. One, thank you for letting our students be part of the opportunity. I think it's so great to not only to get our community involved in this whole project, but also have the students be a core part of it, and as Kai as well. And so we took that challenge. I asked the students what they were interested in, whether they thought maybe they wanted to compose something themselves, play something and see if it sounds cool, or to take influence from other pieces they've heard or things they like. And they were all like, let's take Go Lions Go and kind of arrange it and make it even more cool than it already was. And Mr. P's the best. Adam's the greatest. And they, to this day, enjoy playing it. And yes, it's a very simple ditty. At that age, though, at 4th grade, it's not as simple as it is now as a 10th grader. But so we took, Adam sent me his arrangement, and then I kind of added some extra stuff into it, and that's where it came from. So, partly to pay homage and celebrate Mr. P and everything that the students have learned since him, and into this culminating project. So that's actually where it came from.
That's awesome.
They really enjoyed the experience, and it was great having Kai and Allison come down to record it for us. So we hope you all enjoy listening.
I do. And I think that leads into the next question too, right? So musicians influence other musicians. So what is your favorite song, your all-time favorite song, and why, if you've got one?
As a music teacher, I gotta say, I hate that question. But
sorry,
no, it's okay, Mr. B. Because we have such diverse listening. There's so many genres where it's hard. And it's like, well, what's your favorite food? Well, it depends what mood I am. Is it breakfast, lunch? But I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one that I want. If you're listening, you should go look this up on YouTube afterwards. So the group is OK Go, and they have a piece that's called "Let It Go." This too shall pass, and it's with the Notre Dame marching band.
Okay,
and it's hilarious. So for me, it speaks to me because it's got band in it. At the end, there are young students that come in, so it's got the elementary component. It's a little bit quirky. The band members are dressed in camouflage. They are in the grass, and you can't see them. Then they pop up, and they join the band, and it's all in one take. It's just a really fun video, and it's inspiring. The music is great. It's this huge sound, and you got to go check it out. So I'm going to go with Let It Go, This Too Shall Pass, which sometimes I have been known when I'm having a rough day to blast it in the band room, and everything is okay afterwards.
I don't know if I can beat that.
You could just hop on that. You just say,
me too.
Me too.
That one, me too. Let's see. When I read this, I thought anything by Whitney Houston. I am the biggest Whitney Houston fan. How Will I Know? I think is great song, underrated. I think.
Right.
How Will I Know? We spend actually a lot of time on this topic with my middle school students. So if you're listening, I'll have to answer this question. But like Adam just said, I think as musicians, especially for what we do, you can take any genre, any style, and find a favorite from that. So if we want to say pop, How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. My favorite genre of music actually is electronic dance music.
Yeah.
My high school students know this because I blast electronic dance music all the time. So yeah, wide, diverse interest in music for both of us. But Adam's song and then How Will I Know.
Very, very cool. So if you both could give advice to your younger selves about pursuing a career in music, what would you tell them? You touched a little bit on it already with sticking with the piano, maybe, but
yeah, that, and I would say learn how to improvise and be more into jazz and rock sooner.
Okay.
It didn't happen. I didn't start improvising until I was in Fall Creek 8 years ago.
Okay.
And I always wanted to.
Right.
I could just never find the right group or person to kind of lead the way.
Yeah.
I never had any of that in elementary school, and so my fourth graders can improvise. It's simple.
Awesome.
And my fifth graders, Lion Band, we improvise in the May concert that's coming up.
Okay.
And it's amazing to me. I had an oboe student, it's Victoria, I'm talking about you, the other day.
She's great.
And she improvised for the first time, and she did great. And she put the oboe down, her face lit up. She goes, "That was fun." I said, "That's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
And let's do more of that. Let's do more of the fun. So for me, if I could say, hey, just get into that sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great, Adam. I think you probably could relate this to any subject area besides music education. But I think have faith and rely on the people around you for support.
Mm-hmm.
I think for my personal journey in music education, it was kind of do I want to do this? I really love this. Actually, I don't love this. And leaning on your colleagues and your friends and your peers in the same field as you, learning from them, watching them conduct, watching them do rehearsals, going to clinics, watching stuff on YouTube. I mean, there's so much you can find. We have such a plethora of knowledge that's available to us now with this day and age. And I think always learning, always relying on the people around you. I know in my 6 years here that I've learned so much from Adam sitting next to me here. And I think that would be great, a great piece of advice. Just don't forget you're not alone. There's always people out there for you that can help you grow in any field.
Yeah, that's great. No, but thank you both to our guests, Elizabeth and Adam, today for continuing to build our students' confidence and strengthen their musical skills. And I know that, after concerts, I reach out to you and, it probably sounds like a bit of a broken record, but I really mean it when I say that the passion that you impart on our students in terms of getting them to love music, whether a lifelong career in it or just to enjoy it is so appreciated by our community and by myself. And so we appreciate all of our educators, not just during Music in Our Schools Month, but all year round. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun and play a game here called Pop Quiz to test your knowledge in music.
All right. Electronic dance music.
We're turning the tables. All right. You'll be tested on 4 questions, including a tiebreaker if need be. And whoever gets the most points wins. Unfortunately, all you win is bragging rights. That's all we got today. But
I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
All right. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Was it A, Tina Turner, B, Aretha Franklin, or C, Whitney Houston? How will I know?
Who gets to answer?
Whoever answers first.
It was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So A was Tina Turner, B was Aretha Franklin, or C was Whitney Houston.
Well, I know we both love Whitney, but I'm gonna say it's probably like the Queen.
Yeah,
it's got to be Aretha.
I was gonna say B.
It is B.
That's B. B. I thought you were going to say Tina Turner. Well, it's definitely not Whitney.
It's so cool though.
I know. It would actually be
been tied right in.
But it's taking time.
We got this.
All right. Question number 2. What Beatles song is credited with inventing metal music? A, Revolution, B, Back in the USSR, or C, Helter Skelter?
First, I need to apologize to Mrs. Lutz, who loves the Beatles. I'm so sorry for her answer because I have no idea. I don't know the Beatles stuff, but Just pick
If it makes you feel any better, I only know the answer because I have it in front of me.
B?
She's going B.
B.
B. It was C. Helter
That's what
Skelter.
we said, right? C.
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 C. Charlie.
A point
Yeah,
for both.
it's
of you.
the
B
microphone.
and C are
It's
a
the
little
microphone.
similar. No.
Yeah.
All right. It's all right. 1.
1-1.
All right. So, question 3. What was Elvis Presley's first #1 hit in the United States of America? Was it A, Heartbreak Hotel, B, Blue Suede Shoes, or C, Hound Dog?
I like Hound Dog.
See,
Let's go for Hound Dog. C.
C, it was actually A, Heartbreak Hotel.
Well, that's wrong.
Is your heart broken?
Yeah, I'm a little heartbroken
Yeah.
for that. It's all right, Elvis. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
1 for 2.
Yeah.
Question 4. Which classical composer was deaf? Bach, A, Bach, B, Beethoven, or C, Mozart?
It's Beethoven.
Be sure.
Yes. Final
Beethoven.
answer,
It is
Mr. Bacigalupi. And we won't say why he was deaf. We'll leave that to
Yeah.
research
There
later.
you go.
Go research at home.
Yeah.
And just for fun, because we're having such a good time, we'll do the tiebreaker question, even though I'm pretty sure it's a tie all the way around. What was the first music video ever played on MTV? A, Video Killed the Radio.
I don't need multiple choice.
That's right.
I'm a child of the 80s.
There you go. All right.
I love that song.
Well, once again, thank you both for joining us here today. And for our Lion listeners, keep an eye out for more episodes to come. And feel free to send us any suggestions on who we should interview next. I'm your host, Superintendent Joshua Bacigalupi, and it's the Roar Report, signing off.